Yes, yes. What is good, people? It is Wednesday night, and you are tuned into On the Bywire. My name is Dan Lewis, and tonight, as always, I am bringing you the news you know you can trust. Don't know, it's real out here, man. I'm hunting, I'm searching, I'm exploring the world of independent media so that you can sit back, chill out, just relax Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. and get your daily dose of the finest in independent media coverage. Yes, I will let you know what is going on in the world, covered by the finest of independent media journalists. Now, I've bigged up the people, them, don't know. So let me just ask you quickly, will you support the thing? Will you support the thing? I can tell you how you can support this. I can hear you right now. You saying like, how do I support the thing, Dan? How do I support the thing? I'll tell you what to do, right? Check it out. Click a like button there, little subscribe button there. Don't know. Hit us up, man. Follow, like the lot. If you're on Twitter, hit retweet. Actually, talking of Twitter, yeah, that takes me to the first little story today. Oh my days. Oh, don't forget to share as well. Yeah, do a little share, send it to the WhatsApp group, send it to the family group. Say, yo, man, have you guys seen this one? I know you all got a family WhatsApp group. Or are people moving to Signal now? Like, that's the vibe, innit? Yeah. Do people have family Signal groups, or are they not bothered about the privacy of their family chat group? I'm genuinely interested. That's one for the thing. Anyway, listen, yeah. Twitter today, oh my days. Yeah, Piers Morgan, Chief Snowflake has lost his shizney. Oh my day, again. Yeah, man. Today over the Olympic gymnast Simone Biles, dismissing her mental health reasons for not being able to participate in the competition. Now, he did the same to Naomi Osaka, saying she was exploiting mental health to silence the media. Also, he did it with Meghan Markle. He called her a liar, and he said that she hadn't actually suffered with mental health. Like, he basically just disregarded her struggles. Like, odd that when Paul Gascoigne said he had mental health issues, Piers was like, do you know what? Yeah, he's suffered, and we need to give him respect. He deserves our sympathy, not our ridicule. Bit of a pattern there. Do you know what I mean? Like, just a little bit of a pattern. In school when you have to work out patterns, like, Piers, you made this one too easy for us. What is this, like a grade 1 or something? I don't know. But, let's also take into account the actual barriers for women when talking about their mental health in public, and especially when in the public eye. Excuse me. Like, men, we need to do more to support the thing here, because also we need to shut down man like Piers, because it's not acceptable. Guys got a problem with non-white women. I said it. Like, I'm not even just saying it. Like, it is weird, and it needs to be dealt with before more damage is done. This is a reoccurring issue that happens a lot of the time, not just in the media but in society, and we as men, we have a duty to call this out. You know what I mean? So if you ain't calling it out, what are you doing, fam? Real talk. Like, and yeah, you can say all you want to say, like, oh, men have mental health issues too, we need support, we need the services are there, right? Everything is there, right? If men get shamed for having mental health issues, it is normally men that shame them, right? Majority of the time. And I'm saying that as a man who has suffered with mental health issues. And I just feel that in everything in life, really, women are disproportionately affected. They are disproportionately given the blame, right? And especially with mental health issues. I felt, use the opportunity, seen as Piers, the Chief Snowflake, has decided to use his little Twitter account to run his mouth. Let's call it out. Let's call it out for what it is, and call the men up and say, men, let's do something. Stand up, say something. Now, yeah, on to another weird one. And Boris today has been having a go at Sadiq Khan, saying that Sadiq needs to get to grips with crime in the capital, talking about knife crime mostly. He's saying that Sadiq's the one who needs to sort this stuff out. Now, my memory's not always the best, but man's still doing bits, remembering things, yeah? But I swear Boris's party is the one that's been in power for the last, 10, 11 years? And they're the ones who cut 20,000 police officers, right? Like, you can't come out here talking to man like London Mayor and that. Yeah. Hold on, wait. Boris was the London Mayor as well, bruv. Like, are you mad? Bro, he was the one. I remember I lived in London when Boris was mayor, yeah? And knife crime was mad. Bro, like, honestly, I remember I was, bruv, not even just knife crime, just tools in general. I was on a bus one time. Man was holding me up with a screwdriver, bruv. Like, it was mad out there, yeah? How is Boris going to come at Sadiq on that one? Like, don't get me wrong, yeah? Man's not a big fan of Sadiq out here. You get me? Like, Sadiq does his thing. He's better. I'm like very, very, very happy to see a brown man in a position of political power. However, Boris is out here calling out Sadiq like as if he's done something wrong. Bruv, you're the prime minister. Huh? You're the big man. Yeah? Like, you are the one with all the power in it. You can do anything, bro. You literally do anything. You spend thousands and thousands of pounds on takeaways. You spend thousands of pounds doing up the house you're only going to live in for a few years. You just get away with whatever you want, yet you're going to call out Sadiq like Sadiq's the man who's causing a problem. Like, real talk, man. If you want to end knife crime, which clearly Boris is not bothered about it, he just wants to use it for political point scoring. He's just chucking things at the London mayor. We'll come to Boris and his ways with the police and knife crime a little bit later anyway. But today, the government have launched their new national disability strategy. And also today, they lost a high court case brought against them by a deaf woman for refusing to provide sign language interpreters at the TV COVID briefings. Now, this has been confirmed by this has been confirmed as a discriminatory practice that broke equality law. Just let that sink in. On the same day, tells you all you need to know about this government. Open that door and let the sink in. Come on. Oh, my days. Now, yesterday we heard Boris's spokeswoman give some advice on how we, us poor paupers, can save the environment. And after much feedback, I think she's decided to come back with something else, some more advice. She's come back and she's decided to promote the work of the Green Party. In continuing her top tips, she has said, she said, why don't you join the Green Party? Like, she's basically turned around and she's like, oh, people can do this and they can do that. I don't know who she thinks she is. And then she's like, oh, they could join the Green Party. You work for the Tories, right? Now, the co-leader of the Green Party, Jonathan Bartley, has responded in The Independent today, saying after decades of inaction from both the Conservatives and Labour, we would absolutely agree with the government that joining the Green Party is the best thing people can do to help tackle climate change. Like, I don't know whether joining the Green Party is going to help tackle climate change, but hey, if the government are telling you to do it, surely it's a good idea, right? Like, now, I'm shocked to announce this one. Like, honestly, I always say to you guys, like, oh, I'm not surprised by this, or, the government haven't shocked me on this one, but I'm genuinely shocked to announce this one. And it's on COVID. Boris has urged caution after a 7-day decline in COVID cases here in the UK. You guys heard what I said yesterday, right? Nothing is as it seems with this lot in charge. Honestly, nothing is as it seems. These guys, man's honestly telling people, he's urging caution. That's the words. I urge caution. Okay, so cool, right? COVID cases are going down. We thought the third wave was going to be bigger. A lot of people did anyway. I'm not saying everyone did, but a lot of people, including myself, thought the third wave was going to continue to rise. I still have a feeling that something just doesn't add up right here, the way things are going. Only half the population have been vaccinated. I think it's over half now. Over half, because, things have changed since the last figures were released. But over half the population have been vaccinated. But there is still a large number of people who haven't been vaccinated, and a lot of those people will be enjoying being able to go out to clubs, bars, restaurants, all the places that we weren't able to go to before, and enjoying themselves, hugging people, seeing people, playing sports, all of that. So there is a chance that, this COVID, all the different types of variants that are out there now, there's going to be a large infection rate, transmitting between people. And I'm just trying to simplify things because that's the easiest way for me to understand them. And I'm sure it helps other people. And if that's the case, that, so many people are out there and there's so many still not vaccinated, and people who are vaccinated can still transmit the virus, surely numbers are going to go up. I still feel like the figures don't make sense. I'm not a numbers man. I used to work in a bank. I'm definitely not a numbers man, So we'll see what happens. All I'm saying is nothing is as it seems with these guys in charge. Now over to Open Democracy, where Adam Byczowski and Jenna Corduroy have been looking at the fact that only 6 UK employers were prosecuted for paying below minimum wage in 6 years. I believe I've missed someone's name off of the list there, and I will correct it later on Twitter once I'm able to read the sign that it says. But only 6 UK employers prosecuted for paying below minimum wage in 6 years. This is an exclusive for Open Democracy. Big up them lot. The investigation team are mad on everything they do. I love their vibes. Now, they also found that dozens of firms that were named and shamed by the UK government last year for failing to pay the minimum wage also collected millions in furlough payments. The corruption continues. Pizza Hut, Superdrug, Costco, the Manchester Lowry Hotel, and many, many more are all undercutting the workers that keep them going. Now, I want to emphasize that point because, right, if I open a business and I need people, let's say it's a burger shop. I love burgers, right? I open a burger shop. I need people to cook the burgers. I need people to sell the burgers. I need people to go out and promote the thing, yeah? Without those people, I can't run a burger shop, yeah? They are the life and blood of my shop. They deserve more than the minimum wage. And if they're getting less than the minimum wage, it's just an insult, beyond insult. I might as well just slap them every day, innit? You get me? Every time they walk into work, just go dash, let them get on with their thing. Do you get me? Like, real talk. Like, in total, more than 1 million workers were cheated out of £100 million in wages by their employers between April 2015 and March 2021. Boy, that's a lot of people and a lot of money, man. Seriously. And this is according to figures from the Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. The way this government go on with these things, though, yeah? Like, if I was the Queen, like, Her Majesty, I wouldn't want my name on these things, innit? I would say something. I'd be like, yo, brother, don't be doing them things by my name. You get me? Like, HMRC is just a waste of space. Like, the people who work there deserve better. They deserve better management from the government. They deserve better. I'm sure PCS, the union that fight for them, could correct me if I say this wrong, but I'm sure they deserve better from this government, the way they're treated and the things they have to do. Honestly, like, the minimum wage itself, like, let's have a look at it, yeah, is a minimum. Now, if I was gonna, like, let's say you're trying to chirp someone, right? Whether it's male or female, whatever, yeah, you trying to chirp someone up. You're like, yo, are you gonna give them the minimum? Imagine you're trying to chirp someone and you give them the minimum. They're gonna be like, nah, bro, I want the maximum. You get me? All right, right? Imagine you wanna set up a business deal, right? You're gonna go in and you're about to get like the Dragon's Den, yeah? Man don't really flex with them things in it, but imagine you're going on the Dragon's Den. Are you gonna give them the minimum? Be like, yo, minimum things. Nah, bro, you're gonna go in and give them the maximum. So if you want people to work for you, you want to give them the maximum, right? Right? So why don't we pay people the maximum we can pay them? Why don't we pay people more? I don't get it. You want me to come in and give you maximum effort. You want me to come into work and be like, yes, boss, I'm giving you 150% today. Because I know you're giving me 20% of the wages I deserve. That's what minimum wage is, bro. Minimum wage is minimum. It was brought in by Blair, right? And it was like, he struggled, his government struggled to bring that in. I've looked into it, trust me, because I hate the minimum wage. And neoliberals and capitalists hate a minimum wage because they want to pay you the minimum. They don't want to pay you. If they could, they would get away with not paying you. Think about it. Look at the kids back in the old days, yeah? It's only the last century that they stopped getting kids to work and not paying them, or like they would have people in mills where they would say, okay, well, we've given you food this week, so there's 20% of your wage, and you live here, so there's 50% of your wage, and Well, to be honest, we're not really happy with your work. Instead of doing 500 hours, even though there's not even 500 hours in the week, you only did 200 hours. So we're going to take the remaining 30%. But you've got somewhere to sleep at least. You know what I mean? A friggin' dusty box in the back of the yard. You get me? Right? That's it. They would go back to them ways if they could. Trust me. So minimum wage ain't even a thing. Then Blair brought in this little bit, yeah, called tax credits. Child tax credits, working tax credits, all these different type of tax credits to try and like say to the businesses, look, I know you've got to pay a minimum wage, but here's a little bit of money we're going to give them so that, you know, you don't have to up it too much. That was basically propping up the corporations so they didn't have to pay people extra. That's all that is, right? We need to start getting businesses, companies to pay people what they deserve. You know how we do that? Join a blood clot union, fam. Join the damn thing. If you ain't in a union, join a union right now. Whatever you do, share this thing, share this video right now, and put on the share. Join a union. Everybody needs to join a union. If I ever get a delivery to my house, I say, nice one, thank you so much, keep up the hard work, make sure you join a union. When I go shopping, yeah, and I buy something in the shop, I say, oh, thank you, have a lovely day, make sure you join a union. I tell everyone to join a union, right? That's how we fix these things. You know what I mean? I've lost track of where I'm at now, boy. I just went on one. Whew, join a union, people. But listen, Open Democracy's findings come amid growing concerns about the insecure work, particularly in the wake of the pandemic. On Tuesday, Labour said that it would give all workers the same benefits and rights from day one on their jobs, regardless of their employment status, if it wins the next general election. Yeah, and then they let 90 staff go on for redundancy, yeah? And then start employing people on agency things on the back door. All right, Labour. All right, Keith. Don't trust you, bro. Now, over to Byline Times. Ooh, this is a spicy one. CJ Werleman and Catherine Denkinson have been looking into or investigating the strange Truman Show world of Sabira Sama and her sister. Like, real talk on this one, definitely have a read of this because it goes into detail. But there are no lengths to which the Chinese government will not go to conceal the evidence of its orchestrated effort to annihilate Uyghur culture. Either in whole or in part, Xinjiang autonomous zone, they're trying to brock up the thing, man. The Chinese government's campaign to conceal and whitewash the Uyghur genocide has also extended to the online realm. And it's been revealed in recent months in a long investigation by ProPublica and the New York Times, which found that Beijing has produced more than 3,000 videos in which Chinese citizens deny abuses and defend the government's human rights record in Xinjiang. Now, basically what they're doing is like they're just using social media to try and trick people in thinking that, you know, the genocide hasn't happened, that they haven't done nothing. And it's like the Truman Show where you're kind of living and you're seeing these posts and stuff, and it's like telling you that what's going on is not actually going on. And it's a weird state of affairs, to be honest. It is absolutely, the fact that a government think they can do this is scary as well. Forget weird, it's scary. And I just think that it needs to be called out. So I'm glad Byline have done this. They've looked into a specific storyline of two people that are just like made up characters. And the Chinese government clearly realizes that not just in China, but around the world, people know what they're up to. They know what's going on. So they think using social media to fool people is going to work. Listen, if there's one thing I've learned over time, and that's from my own use of social media, and now being a parent, seeing my daughter use social media, you ain't going to fool the people on social media a lot of the time. The older ones maybe, but as people, you get young, you go through the younger and younger generations, they wise up, man. They wise up on these things. Trust me. Now over to our good friends at Unity News. Wagwan Unity News people, you lot are always bringing the vibes. Now, this is a brilliant piece on exactly how I love it, the chumocracy of the Tories works. A Tory councillor landing a £300 million contract. I can't even £300 million. Like, I can't even imagine that kind of money. I wouldn't know what I would do with it. Like, I enter competitions to win me 50K and I'm gassed, right? 300 million pounds. And do you know what the thing is? Yeah, if I had that money, I'd feel like I'd have some responsibility, to like do something for the world, to help the people around me, to try and end homelessness. Like, because like 84 million a year. Think about it. I could nearly end homelessness with 300 million pounds. Yeah. Because yesterday we heard that 84 million a year until 2024 would end homelessness in the UK. So if I had 300 million pounds, boy, anyway, this Tory councillor landed the contract and was meant to be providing PPE stuff during the pandemic, and basically, like, the stuff wasn't usable, and it ended up being like £400 a product, like individual product. The cost came to, because it wasn't usable. Now my man's going on like nothing, like, don't care, nothing. Government ain't gonna do nothing. Imagine if, like, you went out there and you started selling dodgy stuff to the public. You'd get done. You'd end up on that watchdog program on BBC or whatever. Them lot looking into you like, oh, he's so terrible. Why does this not happen with the government, man? Why has this not happened? Oh, chamocracy. Yes, Unity News. Love that. Now, Unity News have looked into his connections and what he actually did for the contract or didn't do for the contract. And if anyone says to you that the Tories are not corrupt, send them this article, innit? It's like at the lowest level. You've literally got a Tory councillor that knows a Tory MP over in Stroud, and they've gone like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then boom, 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 bish, bash, bosh. But the mad thing is, right, I remember during the pandemic, I was speaking to a dude who ran a factory that actually could provide PPE to care homes in his area, and the government weren't interested. They weren't interested one bit. And he wasn't looking to make a profit. He was looking to just help during the pandemic, but also keep his workers in work, like, so that he wouldn't have to close down the factory, but keep people safe and all of that stuff. And the government didn't care. Honestly, like I said, if people tell you the Tories ain't corrupt, yeah, send them this article. Unity News have busted up the thing there. Big up you guys. Now over to the good people at Welfare News. These guys definitely work hard, and they are looking at the DWP being forced to concede defeat in Universal Credit Transitional Protection Judicial Review. Boom. Thanks to Stephen Priest for covering this, as this case might be significant for everyone who lost money to Universal Credit between January 2019 and January 2021 and was entitled to a severe disability premium, also known as an SDP, not the Socialist Democratic Party. Anyway, at the time of the transfer, that is, by the way. Now, even if that entitlement was not determined until after the fact, so think about it. If you're in that situation, look into this, definitely. The article covers the story of Mary and John, who lost £10,000 moving over to the Universal Credit system. Campaigners have been very clear that the system is broken, and here's more proof of it. Honestly, we know the Tories don't make these systems with the people that use them in mind. They're literally there to push people, everyone down, and at the same time, the Tories just sit there laughing while their balances go up. Like, honestly, this is horrible. Reading this story, you can tell by my tone, just Mary and John went through some really horrible stuff. I've got some friends and people that I've known who went over to Universal Credit, and it is disgusting. There's people who can't leave their house, and they're being forced to go to the job center, go for an interview here, meet people who don't care about them. And what they do is they put it in these offices that aren't government run buildings. And they have all these things about talking about you as a customer, if you're the one going over to Universal Credit, and they have private security firms in there, and they use the security to scare you. Like, this is a really stressful time in people's lives. They're potentially, well, no, it's not potential. They are going to lose money, because there's a period. There was a 12-week waiting period as well at one point. I don't know if it's still there, where you're not going to have any money coming in. Like, imagine if you've got a job, yeah, and your boss says to you, 12 weeks, 3 months, you're not going to get paid while we move over to a new payment system. You'd be buggered, right? Yeah, you won't be able to pay your bills. And that's what they've said to these people who, like, literally don't have any money. People who are disabled, people who are off work with sickness, like long-term sickness, so they're not able to work. People who all kinds of different issues going on, and they're saying you're going to go 12 weeks with no money. Oh, but what we'll do is we'll loan you the money. So they won't even just give them some money, like we'll loan you the money, and they don't set up a payment plan. Now, if under the law, if any company loans you money, they have to set up a payment plan and agree that payment plan with you, and you have to agree it, you know what I mean? But the government didn't even do that. They were literally just like, we'll loan you the money, and then out of nowhere take the money out of their first payment, or take, like, you know, say your first payment is 80 quid, it's like, oh, we're gonna take 60, and then next month we'll take 60, and we'll just keep doing that until, so leaving people with like 20 quid every 2 weeks is sickening what they've done here. So definitely check out that article if you know anyone that's face the changes in universal credit. Boom, there's an article that you should definitely check out, because they might be entitled to actually getting some money back. Now, over to our main story. This one got me vexed today, you know, on a level. In 8 ludicrous words, Boris Johnson destroys any shred of credibility in his crime-fighting plan. Excuse me. This is Boris's plan to criminalize more young people. Johnson describes the discriminatory power as, this is his 8 words, a kind and a loving thing to do. Now, he's talking about stop and search powers, which have long been shown to disproportionately be used against black people, and black people are on average 10 times more likely than white people to be stopped, right? So I'm biracial. Some people might call me black, some people might call me brown, other people have other words, but I don't think I can use them on the channels that we're broadcasting on. And I remember walking to work, like I finished college, right? And so I finished college at 4 o'clock. I was 16, and I get on the train, and I'd be leaving the train station to get to my work. It's like a 5-minute walk. In the train station, they'd have police there waiting to jump on people, stop and search them, or they'd have the metal barriers. Guaranteed every time I'd get stopped, and I'd be late into work because I've been stopped. And one of the things that you can do, if anyone's watching that gets stopped in the future, you can ask them for proof. They fill in a piece of paper. Don't listen to them if they say you don't need it or they don't need to give it to you. They have to, if you ask for it, they have to give you proof of the date and time that they've stopped you and what they've written on that piece of paper, right? Get that evidence. And if you don't get that evidence, you don't have evidence that this basically happens. And that's happened to me before, and I've been late for work. In the morning, on my way to college, they'd be doing stop and search. Friends in school, I remember getting stopped, and the thing that they would use is they'd say, oh, you look like, they can use the most precarious reasoning for stopping and searching you. They'd say things like, you look like someone who robbed someone, or we've had reports of black people or brown people or people with hoodies, or we've had reports of young men in the area stealing cars. Like, what young men? Right? What did the young men look like? Who are the young men? You are the police. It is 2021, right? Someone can wee in the street and get filmed on someone else's Instagram. It goes online, and within hours, that whole of the internet knows who they are, who their mum is, and where they work. But the police, they'll just stop any black man on road because a black man did something. Shut your mouth, rude boy. All right, listen. Remember that girl? Remember that? You know, this was like what, 2011 or something, or maybe earlier, when that girl, I'm gonna Google you, bitch. Remember the video that went viral in New Year's, right? You know what I'm talking about, yeah? Everyone found out who she was, where she was from, everything. Remember the guy that got caught slipping on the chair, on the stairs in the estate with the gala, and he worked in the bookie? Yeah, you know, right? This can happen in this world, but you're telling me police that, nah, listen, right? There is little evidence that stop and search has had a positive effect on crime figures historically. Also, like, let me say, yeah, I got in trouble at work when I was late because of the stop and search. Even though I showed them that I got stopped, then my employers became suspicious of me, and they started to change my job roles within the workplace because of what was happening, right? And the same with college. I got stopped on the way into college, and then I'd be late for college, and the college, the lecturers, whatever, they'd be like, why are you late? And I'm like, the police stopped me. And the lecturers are like, well, do I want you in the classroom? You know what I mean? Like, I don't blame them. If you're a white man who's teaching a class, or a white woman, and you're like, wow, my student's getting stopped by the police, they must be bad. Well, no, do you see what it does? It is very embarrassing. I remember, I can tell you so many stories when you're there in the street and you see people you know, and you're getting searched in the street, like just standing there, or the police stop you like that, and you've done nothing wrong. You've not even got any weed on you or nothing, right? And you're getting stopped and that. Like, people shouldn't even be getting arrested for weed, but that's another episode, man. Bring up the thing for that one. But listen, like, let's go back to the 2011 riots, yeah? The London riots, they spread across the UK. And like, man, we'll talk for hours on this one, trust me, right? Big part of the reason behind those riots is because there was a lack of trust between young people and the police. Because when they're walking down the street getting about their business, the police are stopping and searching them just inappropriately, out of nowhere, with no reason, with no evidence. It continues to be a problem, and there's no evidence that stop and search has any positive effects on reducing crime, or even trying to improve relations between the police and any type of community. Now, Netpol, big up the Netpol people, always keeping an eye on what the police are doing. They've said that in an apparent effort to appease fractious police unions, the government's beating crime plan, that's what they call it, beating crime. To me, that just sounds like, hey, let's beat up a couple of blackies. Literally, that's all I hear from them, man, right there. But this beating crime plan apparently proposes expanding wholly ineffective racist stop and search powers, despite ministers failing to publish a pilot study or offering other supportive evidence. Big up Netpol on just baiting up the thing, right? That's on their Twitter, by the way. Now, Netpol coordinator Kevin Blow told the Canary that the plan seems to be more about appeasing the police at a time when the government is under fire over police pay. Spot on. This is a cynical attempt by the government to appease the police, when the Police Federation says it has no confidence in Priti Patel over pay. Like, I think this is exactly it. One day the Police Federation are saying they got no confidence. Next day, Priti's out there, or Boris is out there saying, you know what? Go beat up some of them black kids. That's literally what they're saying. And you might think I'm going mad on, like, saying, oh, go and beat up, because there's nothing in there that says beat them up, right? But that's what happens, yeah? I've seen it. I've got the jogs in it, yeah? Man's got the jogs from when feds grips you up and that, yeah? You've seen the videos. Come on, you telling me you ain't seen the videos where feds are holding down black youths in their school uniform and they're giving them little digs and that? Like, what's going through your head, bruv? Feds, ACAB all day, yeah? ACAB all day, man. It gives the police permission to, this is again from Netpol, it gives the police permission to intensify their use of already racialized and discriminatory stop and search powers, and will make a bad situation even worse. It is young black people who will feel the impact, and who the government has thrown under a bus to play politics with policing. Like, big up Jasmine Norden from the Canary for covering this and making very clear that this is not a good policy. And like, let me tell you why, like, more so why this is not a good policy, right? We already have a broken policing system. We already have bad relations between the police and many communities, especially young people, especially ethnic communities, right? We already have a country that is full of problems in regards to how we support young people. And the best way in which we can stop crime, stop knife crime, and bring about those better relations. Like, I don't believe in this whole policing system, but the best way we can bring about change is by putting money into youth centers. Over the last 11 years, we have seen year on year community centers and youth centers closed. Funding has gone from youth services. We are seeing young people being criminalized more and more and more. The government used young people as a political tool. Back when David Cameron was the prime minister, he said, hug a hoodie. Man thought he was busting a joke over the thing. They call us yobs. With the media as well, we have to be responsible when we're looking at how the media talk about young people. Over this last summer, As we've seen young people go out and enjoy themselves in the heat wave, when they're in places where people maybe feel a bit uncomfortable, they say yob's doing this, gangs of young people. Using these language about young people is not helpful. The more you criminalize them in the language you use and the way you talk about young people, the more you push them into becoming criminals. And I'm not saying you make them to become criminals. I'm saying what happens is people view them as criminals, and then they start to get treated differently, and then they start to get marginalized from community as a whole. And when you don't have access to something, you fight to access that something because you want to be a part of society. But if you've not got someone with their arm around you bringing you into the thing, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna do fight or flight, innit? And that's what a lot of young people are doing. They got a lot of energy and they're very talented. Like I believe fully that young people, you know, we've let a whole generation after generation of young people down simply by letting this government get away with what they're doing. And if something isn't done soon, we're going to have a future of many, many more problems. Young people out of school, young people living in and out of jail or youth detention centers. Like, you know, look at the migrant detention centers. You think they treat the youth detention centers any different? It's run by the same people, G4S. Yeah. The guy who owns that is the husband of Theresa May. Theresa May is the one behind the hostile environment. Theresa May is the one who handed the reins over to Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson, the racist, and the guy who does not give anything about young people. You telling me this prime minister cares about young people? How many kids has he got and where are they and how much is he paying to them? Don't tell me nothing about young people being looked after by this government. We need to seriously have a rethink about it. Done the thing. Listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I've ranted a lot today because there's been a lot of heartfelt issues coming out of this one. I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow at 9 p.m. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Don't know. Hit the subscribe, hit the follow, hit the like. Make sure you share it. And don't forget, bywire.news. It's the news that you know you can trust.